So I am Lori Kiefer. I am the Polka Dot Powerhouse Rockstar Referrer Program Coordinator, and I am here today with Carly Stein from the Westminster, Colorado chapter. And I am interviewing her because she is the first person this year to reach 12 points in our referral program, which means she has earned her next year membership for free because she has brought 12 people into Polka Dot Powerhouse to become new members, which is amazing and incredible. And I've been excited. A lot of us on Legacy Leadership have been excited watching you on your journey as you're, referring one person after the other. So I want to thank you for jumping on Zoom with me. And my goal today is to share with other members some of your advice and tips and how can they do what you've been doing, because you have made it look really easy. So, and there's a lot of people that are struggling. Some of it's a mindset issue and some of it is they just don't know what to say or how to say it, or what can they do. So that's what we're here today for, is to share how you've done this. But I first want to start with, because Polka Dot is all about connections. We believe in connections first. So I would love for you to share, who is Carly?
Well, thanks. So I am Carly. I live in the Denver area. I know a lot of people ask, why am I not in the Denver chapter? And the reason is because I've been networking in this town since I was 18. And most of my connections were in the Denver and South part of town. And I went, I need to meet people up north. So I joined the Westminster chapter and made that decision really for business reasons. And I call them the second family I never knew I needed. I own two businesses. I am an artist, and I'm coming to you actually from my magical mermaid bedroom, because out there is the art studio and we're in the middle of spring market season. So my living room tends to turn into the jewelry making department. So it's just more calmer in here. And my other business is that I bring shopping events to senior living communities. So they kind of go hand in hand, both businesses. But that is what I contribute to the world business wise. But my dot journey is kind of an interesting one. I wanted to join Polka Dots for a long time, but didn't quite have the financial means to do so. And then in August of 2022, had a breakout month financially and had the finances to join. And then in October of 2022, I learned that I was sick, very sick. And for the sixth time, I was fighting for my life. And this time it was really bad. And I had a deadly infection in my colon called C. diff, which a lot of people get and can fight it really well or really easily. But at that point, I'd become antibiotic resistant and things were not looking good. And this was at the end of October. So we were basically in November at that point. So the doctors wanted to put on a drug called Difficid, which is one of the strongest antibiotics on the market, for 30 days.
Wow.
The FDA only allows you to be on it for 10 days. And I knew, because I'd taken it before, I knew I'd be knocked out and not really very productive for basically the month. So we had started GoFundMe and raised money there. And then the holidays hit in December. And of course, the antibiotic didn't work. They did an antibody infusion. That didn't work. And then December hits and the funds are running out. I'm able to do markets, but I need help because I'm getting very weak and I'm so bloated. I look 9 months pregnant and I'm able to pay my bills up until the 30th of that month. I'm $200 short in rent. And I had made some dot colored earrings. And at that point, I was so new to polka dots, I didn't know how to lean on them. I didn't know how to ask for help. I wasn't sure, but I posted in our polka dot group that Saturday. And I said, hey guys, I'm $200 away from paying rent. Can you help me? I've been sick and whatnot. And I posted in the group and they showed up. I said, can you buy these earrings? And they helped me get my rent paid. One dot even donated, gave me a $200 check when I brought them the the earrings on New Year's Eve that day. And that is why I called them the second family I never knew I needed. In fact, my family deserted me that I still get teary-eyed thinking about it. That Christmas, I was by myself. And all while this was going on, the hospital screwed up my tests 6 times. So in the midst of this, I'm wondering if I'm going to die.
Right.
So January 2nd, I qualified for a test or got the right test and qualified for a fecal transplant, and had a fecal transplant a year and a week later from the previous fecal transplant I had that failed. And I just celebrated 16 months healthy.
Nice.
Yeah. So now, seriously, when I get sick, it's dots who are asking how I'm doing. It's not my family.
I can relate. Totally.
Yeah.
I'm the same way.
So it's pretty amazing. So when I'm talking to people about polka dots, that's the story I'm telling them. Like, polka dots are the people who show up when the people, the people you expect to show up in your life don't. That is what I tell people when, I just tell people my dot story when they're, asking about what polka dots is.
Cool. That's a great way to describe what we are all about, because I agree with you completely. I've heard several people say that, polka dot is the family that, the family we get to choose, not necessarily the one that was given to us at birth. And that's an amazing story and journey. And I'm very happy that you are on the upswing from all of that. It's no fun going through health issues and financial issues. And you didn't tell me I was going to need Kleenexes when we got on this call.
I'm sorry. I don't know. Sometimes I cry and sometimes I don't when I'm telling it. So,
right. So when you are, one of the things I would like to be able to help other members is giving them some tips. So you're telling people your story and what it means to you and what Polka Dot has done for you and brought to you. But when you're first meeting people, like, how are you approaching people? How are you deciding who to tell? What are you telling them?
Well, really what I do this is kind of my system, and anyone's welcome to follow me on social media. I actually welcome it. Is I tend to post towards the second to last week of the month or the last week of the month. Hey, if anyone wants to come join me at a polka dot meeting, next month, please let me know, or I'll say something relatively close to that. But through the month, I'll post hints or seeds about it. So I'll be like, this is why I love this group, or this is why, or this happened, or whatnot. Or as I was getting to the 12, I would be like, all right, 10 to 12, or I kind of put seeds out. So people were kind of wondering what the hell I was talking about or go in there.
Right.
And people were like, what is this? What are you talking about? Like, and then they were getting, why they were starting to ask questions. And then, or I'd say, this is why I love this group, or this is why I love this membership. Like, they're there for you. So, and that's when I was starting to get inquiries. So, like, really talking about it, or, posting, event photos, or, because the more you're posting, talking about the sisterhood, talking about why you love polka dots is really gets people asking questions.
Gotcha.
I mean, I personally use the power of social media, but I'm also very I'm into energy. I do energy work. I also use my intuition like crazy. So, I mean, there's one story where I went to a networking event, and one of the first things that popped out, I met this woman, and one of the first things that came to my mind was, are you a polka dot? And she went, no, but I keep hearing about this group. And I said, oh, then we need to talk. And so sure enough, and I guess when I wasn't at the meeting, she came as a guest too, but she was wearing pink and orange and she was just meant to be part of our chapter.
I agree. I
So
agree.
yeah, so super intuitive. Things just happen sometimes. So, I will just follow the energy too. So
Cool. What advice would you give to other members that want to hit 12 points like you did?
make the decision first. Like
Excellent,
I
excellent advice.
as I said, neurodivergent ADHD here. And last year, one of our other members, Elizabeth Williams, hit Rockstar referral status. And I, had a conversation with the universe, I guess, and said, all right, challenge accepted. And I did it, and I just started inviting people. And I tell you, it wasn't till I guess February of this year that my referral code was actually used for I mean, I had actually referred some other people, but the stars did not align, and my referral code was not used until September of this year. And I had actually referred some other people. So, but things were made up along the way, and it resolved itself. But say, make the decision first that
Okay.
you want it, and then just start inviting people, and it'll eventually, you'll get there.
Cool. When you said just start inviting people. So, and I know you've talked about how you make these posts on social media and you're kind of seeding and trickling and, all of that, which is excellent advice. Are you doing it outside of social media also?
Yeah, so I network like crazy. In fact, in one of my businesses, I'm even starting to invite vendors, but it's only when they ask. So, but I kind of just follow, like I said, follow the energy. Personally, I, can feel it, but, it's a matter of asking questions and really leaning in and getting to know people and seeing what they're looking for.
Gotcha. That's good. That's good advice. So you're not just going out to every woman saying, come join Polka Dot, come visit. You're talking to them, you're getting to know them a little bit, finding out what they might be needing or searching for, and then inviting them. Good point. So I'm curious because you have hit 12 points and it seems like you've enjoyed the journey to here, and you've already told me that you're not stopping, you're going for the next level, which is like makes me so excited. But I'm curious, how has making that decision to do this program, how has it impacted you personally and or professionally?
It's been a really good distraction from my family. There's been a lot going on in the last couple months, good things and not good things. I was telling Lori earlier, my grandfather's 104 and he is going to Normandy next week, which is super cool, but it's been really stressing my mom out getting him there. So that's been causing a lot of turmoil. Uh, but so that's been a great distraction, but it's really been cool to know and accomplish my goals, especially after, the last few years of being sick. I was surviving a deadly illness 6 times is a lot. And bringing myself back from, a year ago, this time I was in really bad shape, financially, emotionally, just living in a trauma state. It was bad. So it's been really cool to completely do a 180 in my life.
I wish I could give you like an actual hug right now. So the program, Polka Dot in itself has helped you in more ways than one, but also the referral program has. I like that. I didn't realize that. I never would have thought that it could provide the distraction from the not so fun things of life, but I can see how it would.
Well, yeah. And sorry to cut you off, but Polka Dots, I wouldn't have been able to start my other business with the senior living markets without Polka Dots. It's Polka Dots who got me into the locations that I'm in now and have been able to grow this business with. So
So I'm curious, you made a comment when we were talking before I started recording that you know a lot of people and you're referring people not just to your home chapter. And how are you doing that? Because you live in Colorado and you have made a referral to the Australia chapter, which I think is incredible. So I'm curious, and I'm sure other members, because maybe you're not the only one that knows people. So maybe something you say will help spark someone say, oh, I know somebody in the UK, or oh, I know somebody in Australia. So how have you done those referrals?
So, like I said, we're all women. Follow your intuition, man. So I kept hearing her name's Delaney, and I said, kept hearing Delaney, Australia, and I was like, okay. So I reached out to her, I think it was yesterday, and I said, hey, I'm part of this really cool women's connection group, and they have a new Australian chapter, and I keep hearing that you need to, check it out. So are you open to, going to a meeting? And she said, yeah. I said, they meet over Zoom. And I screenshotted the meeting time and sent it to her. I said, are you available that day? And she said, yes. And I said, cool. And then I said, okay, I'm going to send you an invite. You have to go in and register. So I sent it to her. I did tell her what the price point. I said, and if you're feeling called to join after you go, let me know. When she did say that she's probably not looking to join anything right now, but things can change. Like I said, I followed the intuitive call there, so we'll see. And of course, in a couple days, it's next week, so at the beginning of next week I'll reach back out to her and say, hey, I know you said you weren't quite interested in joining anything, but just in case you have a good time at this meeting, here's my referral link and whatnot. And hey, if it's not the right time now, maybe it'll be in a couple months. Here you go.
Right. So I'm hearing you have the connections, you know the people, you're talking to the people in the course of your everyday life and business and all of that. And you've developed your system for referring people, which you've shared with us. And now you've kind of shared a little bit of a follow-up system where you're reaching back out. So I think that's probably going a long way to helping you get up in those numbers. But I'm curious what keeps, because I'm sure it's not like slicing bread. It's not super easy. What keeps you motivated? Like what keeps you going? I mean, you said you made the decision. You said it was like, okay, challenge accepted when somebody won last year, but what keeps you motivated? It's like, have you ever gotten to, okay, I've got 6 points and I'm just tired of doing this. What keeps you going?
Dopamine, I guess. I mean, I need a shirt that says just follow the dopamine. So I guess, that's what it is, but it's really like, it's just sharing. Like Polka Dots is kind of a magical place. And I mean, don't get me wrong, it is like a family. There are things that come up. It's not, it's not that there isn't issues, because I've had my share of them. It's a women's group. It's going to happen, but we get over it and we move on, right?
No
So
drama, yeah.
yeah. So, but there's like this. There's a certain kind of woman that Polka Dot attracts that I haven't found in another group. And I think that's what it is.
That's what keeps you motivated to keep bringing them in. That's a great motivation because the rising tide lifts all boats. And if, it's kind of that all, if we have more of us, then we're just going to keep getting better and better and helping more women. And I know you had shared earlier before we started recording that your story that you shared at the beginning is part of why you refer people, because it helped you so much that you want it to help other people, which is incredible. Well, I just want to thank you for taking the time to chat with me to help explain to some of the other members that might be curious about trying to hit the 12 points or beyond. And I'm gonna sit here cheering you on to get to the 20. Let Carly go. It's like I I check the stats on the back end on more of a regular basis now because I want to see where Carly's at, you know. It's like I'm cheering you on from behind the scenes. But I wanted to thank you for coming on and answering some questions and sharing your tips with the members. And thank you for being my dot sister.
Well, you're welcome.